For this video, we're going to look at a very cool, easy to learn rock and roll riff, which we're going to build into slightly more technical as we go through, but it should start off like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and back. And eventually we go down to the E riff, maybe add an offbeat. And then later we'll do little cool things like... Now, let's get going with this, but before we do, this works really well for acoustic guitars too. So for those that don't have electric, also sounds nice. But let's get to the tab. You've got the page in front of you, and let's get going. We're going to start with finger number 1 on the 2nd fret, 4th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to place it there, and we're going to strum your 5th and 4th strings at the same time. So you should hear these two strings, 5th string, 4th string, and together it should sound like that. Now you're going to strum it twice. Then, without lifting the 1st finger, watch what I'm going to do with the 3rd finger. It goes to fret number 4, also on the same 4th string. So basically, finger number 3 is overriding your 1st finger, and you strum that twice. Now that by itself sounds almost a bit dissonant. Doesn't sound cool, but it creates tension, and that's what we want for this riff. So you're going to do 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, and back to 2 of those. And we were to count it like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now this is using what we call a straight beat. I will then demonstrate later the swing beat as well, but for now, straight beat. This is an A riff. You can play it at any speed. So if you've got the Monday morning blues, your dog has died, your car exploded, your house burnt down, it's a really bad Monday, and you've got the blues. And comes Friday, you've got a new puppy, new car, and a brand new mansion. It's basically the blues rock and roll. It's all about the tempo you play it at. So don't feel that you're obliged to play at any specific speed. Take a speed you think sounds cool and have some fun with it. Now, this is the A riff. We need to play 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and what I just showed you 4 times in a row. So I'm going to ask you to play along with me now, and I'm going to count to 4, and we're going to play more or less at the speed that I just demonstrated. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2nd time, 3rd time, 4th time. Now, if your guitar isn't getting quite the same sound as mine, it's because maybe you're not doing what they call palm damping. So with palm damping, you're simply resting the back part of your strumming hand's palm on this part of the guitar. These are called saddles. If it's an acoustic guitar, it's the white bridge, but you're resting your palm on it like that. You can see the palm is slightly on the string. So when I strum it, it's slightly muffled. So you're going to get something like this, trying to get a good angle there. This is without it. Nice and ringing. We want this. You can hear the string is slightly muffled. And I'm doing downstrokes the whole way through. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if I zoom out a bit, you can see left and right hand working well together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the next part, super easy. Everything you've just learnt, you simply move 1 string down to the ground, like that. So you started here, you were originally playing strings 5 and 4. You go down to there, this is your D riff as on your PDF file. And you go from strings 5 and 4 to strings 4 and 3, and you play through twice. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. As basic as that. You go back to the A riff twice, and now the 3rd line on the PDF, this is the one we have to be sort of a little bit on your toes. Your E is from the 6th string. Those fingers are on the 5th, but you're strumming from the 6th. So it's the same concept. You started here, you went down, you came back, and now we've gone upper string. You can see the movements there. That's the A riff, D riff, back to the A riff, and then to the E riff. But we're only going to play E once. Then you jump 2 down for the D, also once, back up for the A, and end on the E. Now I'm going to take you through once slowly the whole way through the entire progression, so if you want to play along with it, it'll be pretty sweet. And then we can start adding on some modifications, look at that swing tempo we spoke about, and have some pretty cool fun with this. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and second time, third time, fourth time, and down a string. 1, 2, 3, and back. Ready for E, 3 and 4, and once, 2, 3, 4, and 2 down, back to A, and end on the E. Now I'm going to focus once more onto our fretting hand, and we're going to bring the pinky into play. Check this out. So now you go from the 2 to the 4 to the 5. It gives a slightly different sound to it. So your first one, new one, and you can combine them. So you can do the first one, and now, so you can look at nice little variations, and you can even slide it. Check this out. And we're sliding the finger 3 to 4. Now, I mentioned earlier a swing rhythm, and you'll notice, or hopefully notice, that this particular rhythm isn't the same as. Did you hear or feel a slight difference? Now, your straight rhythm counts sort of like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So it's very much sort of straight in a row: 1 and 2 and. Your swing sort of describes what's actually happening. You're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So listen to the difference. Straight, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and swing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and both work well. Now, if you're doing blues, do it slower. And it sounds cool. If you want to do more rock and roll, play it faster. And again, you can decide, do I want to use pinky, do I want to slide, do I just want to use 2 and 4. You've got these options to play with. That's the fun part. Now, before we go further, I want to add on one little last riff. It's actually quite a fun one. It sounds like this. And if you combine that with your first one that you learned, this over here, you can get some pretty cool things going over there. Let me teach you the drift quickly. We're starting off a bit closer there, and finger 1 flat across the bottom 2 strings in the 5th fret. Okay, now you're going to play that like that. So you're plucking both down, down, up, and then you take your ring finger number 3, and these notes are all on the 3rd string: 7, 5, 6. And you can see the fingers up close there. 7, 5, 6, and the last 7 comes up to the 4th string, and you can see I'm doing a bit of a vibrato there because it sounds cool. So try the vibrato. It sounds pretty sweet. And this is an A riff. So when you need to change to D, instead of dropping strings because there's no more strings down there, you simply move up to fret number 10. And here's the D riff. So now you've got another riff for the rock and roll, which you can do like this: A, to D, back to A. And then for those that can get to fret number 12 easy, here's your E riff, D riff, A riff, back to E riff. Now, you'll notice over here that the sequence of the chords are the same. In other words, for a typical standard 12-bar rock and roll or 12-bar blues, you're working with 4 A's in a row, 4 bars of A, 2 bars of D, 2 bars of A again, and then 1 bar of E, then D, then A, then E. This is a standard typical rock and roll or blues progression in A. And end of the day, you can combine them like we said. So I'm going to sit and zoom out to get both left and right hands into the picture. And other than changing the color of the guitar, I've added a little bit of overdrive because it sounds pretty sweet. And we're going to take the first riff, add this in. maybe put the pinky part in. And we're going to use the swing just as an example. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can really have endless hours of fun working with these two riffs over here. Later, we're going to learn the A minor pentatonic scale. But we're not going to go there today. The first goal over here is to get you playing the different riffs, having some fun with the different sounds, and learning how to combine the two, keeping in mind the basic structure of 4 A's, 2 D's, 2 A's, E, D, A, and E. And enjoy it, have fun with it, play with different speeds, and make it your own. Take care, have an awesome day.